paper to your own piece of land. Follow us as we watch our government make further steps into developing our island home for our very own, and further partnerships with an international body charged with promoting peace, freedom, and prosperity. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us as we unfold all those elements of today's show and so much more. But first, the day's news.
For over 40 years, the European Union and Jamaica have enjoyed a partnership built on shared values, trust, and respect. Through a joint cooperation program, the EU is supporting Jamaica to achieve its development goals outlined in Vision 2030. Key areas of support include justice, financial reform, poverty reduction, health, human rights and democracy, environmental protection and agriculture, Jamaica and the European Union, promoting sustainable development and creating opportunities for all Jamaicans.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 11. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there have been no reports of Jamaicans dying in the Bahamas during the recent passage of Hurricane Dorian. Mr. Holness was giving the update in Parliament Tuesday. The Category 5 hurricane devastated the Great Abacos and Grand Bahama Islands in the Bahamas, leaving at least 50 persons dead. Mr. Holness says while no Jamaicans have died on the islands, 31 have asked to be evacuated. Of that number, 21 have been evacuated and are now being housed at the Honorary Consul. The Prime Minister also provided an update on the multi-agency disaster recovery efforts being offered by Jamaica. They include the Jamaica Defence Force and Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, as well as the Ministries of Health and Wellness, Tourism and Local Government. The National Water Commission, Jamaica Red Cross, Petrojam National Spatial Data Management Division, Jamaica Constabulary Force, and Jamaica Fire Brigade are also involved in the recovery efforts.
The agencies report that there has been significant damage to infrastructure, housing, coastal areas of the Northern Islands, and damage to fuel storage. The emergency response so far has included rescue and recovery operations, and these continue.
Jamaica's Disaster Assistance Relief Team has been in the Bahamas since Saturday and have started to build temporary housing for victims. The team will also assist with the establishment of relief distribution areas, aid convoy protection, clearing of distribution routes, conduct key point protection, help with security tasks, and re-establishment of power supply. Persons are being asked to donate funds to help Hurricane Dorian victims.
The government of Jamaica has established a donations account to support our brothers and sisters who have been affected in the Bahamas. The account is at the National Commercial Bank, Oxford Road branch, and the account number is 212-387-304. The name of the account is OPM Donation Account.
In the meantime, the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has released an initial $200,000 in emergency funding to the Bahamas. The UNDP says the funds will support debris and waste management, housing and building damage assessments, as well as the National Recovery Strategy. A team of experts from the UNDP have been deployed to assist in the design of a program tailored to the recovery needs of the Bahamas. In other news, within the next 50 days, the GISCO-owned alumina refinery in Nain, St. Elizabeth will undergo modernization and expansion works. Following this, alumina production at the refinery will be temporarily suspended. Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montego says GISCO has identified scope for significant improvement in energy efficiency.
I wish to remind this House and the people of Jamaica that the modernization and expansion program will be one of the largest investments in the history of this country. Total investment is projected at $1.1 billion when fully completed.
Minister Montego was making a presentation to the House of Representatives yesterday. He promised to continue monitoring developments at the refinery. The Entertainment Ministry will be submitting recommendations to its national security counterpart for amendments to the Noise Abatement Act. Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange has met with stakeholders in the industry to discuss proposals for amending the legislation. This follows calls from members of the entertainment industry for changes to the Act, as well as the establishment of special entertainment zones. Minister Grange says she has put forward proposals regarding the days and hours that would be approved for entertainment events, extension of hours, the establishment of entertainment zones, and other relevant matters. The minister has told stakeholders that she's also working hard to find solutions to address the ongoing conflict between the police and the dancehall fraternity. She has given a commitment to consult with the relevant government authorities, including the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police, and report back to the group on a recommended way forward. The way has now been cleared for Gordon Town Square in St. Andrew to be officially renamed in honor of the late cultural icon Louise Bennett Coverley, affectionately known as Miss Lou. This follows the passage of a resolution by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation during its monthly meeting on Tuesday. The renaming of Gordon Town Square is one of many activities planned to celebrate the centenary anniversary of Miss Lou's birth. During a civic ceremony on Sunday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said a plaque would be unveiled in the square soon after the resolution's passing. In the meantime, he has charged the Municipal Corporation and the Culture Ministry to partner with property owners in the square to further develop the area as an attraction for local and overseas visitors.
We should now seek to improve the facade and put in place the necessary infrastructure, so that if we bring tourists in, or bring in our own Jamaicans, our own students to come and appreciate and understand the culture, that they can be appropriately accommodated, that they can be hosted, and that they can possibly interact with some of our works, either digitally or through other forms.
And finally, tributes flowed in Parliament Tuesday for 3 former members of Parliament who passed away recently. Prime Minister Andrew Holness led the tributes to former members of Parliament Lawrence Broderick and Glenville Shaw, as well as former Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ken Baugh. The former parliamentarians were remembered for their stellar contribution to the nation. Mr. Holness also reflected on Dr. Baugh's passing, saying he was never about power, but service.
Right throughout Ken's life, and reflected in the tributes that have been given here, is that in Jamaican terms, you would describe Ken as a nice man. As a nice man, a man of great honor, integrity, dignity.
I think his reputation for decency and goodwill earned him the respect of all his colleagues within the House on all sides.
Dr. Baugh passed away on September 1 at age 78. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you could save a life when you're on the road.
You know, the more you think about it, the more persons owning land in our country is a significant sign that things are going well, or at least good enough. Our government wants more and more Jamaicans to become landowners. Here's how they're doing it through the National Land Agency.
Becoming a landowner is a significant feat for most people. That feeling of entitlement and success of being able to turn your own key and say, "Welcome to my home." This could be you, and the government is doing its part through the Adjudication Services Division of the National Land Agency.
Systematic registration is defined as the process of land titling through a determined jurisdiction, and it's performed on a commune-by-commune basis. Now, what exactly does that mean? It means that it's the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area using the adjudication process. Adjudication is defined as the process through which existing rights in a parcel of land are finally and authoritatively ascertained. Key things to note: adjudication doesn't alter existing rights or create new ones. It merely establishes what rights exist on ground.
Now that we've established the definition of these very important terms, let's get down to the meat of the matter. You have a piece of land, or you've been living on land that you do not have the title for, but have legitimate claims. Let's find out how you can go about becoming certified landowners utilizing the National Land Agency's adjudication services.
Systematic registration may be new to Jamaica, but it's certainly not new to the world. At the National Land Agency, we have a wealth of information on unregistered land parcels in Jamaica. So currently we know that the parishes with the lowest rates of registration are Portland and St. Elizabeth. So we'll definitely be targeting those two parishes. The mandate of the Adjudication Services Division is to assist landowners who have been in open, undisturbed and undisputed possession of their land for upwards of 12 years to claim ownership of their land via systematic registration using the adjudication process. There's a proposed adjudication process for systematic registration, and we have benchmarked other jurisdictions, and the adjudication process will entail the following. The first is the identification of an adjudication area, project area. The next step will look at what are the areas in those parishes where there's a lot of economic activity, or they're near town centers, probably farmlands, where these farmers will be able to benefit from having a certificate of title to use as collateral security. Once an area has been identified, a recommendation will be made to the minister to declare that area as an area for systematic registration.
Surveying will go hand in hand with the adjudication process, so you can look out for the team from the Adjudication Services Division as they will be situated within the selected communities. These teams will be visiting households parcel by parcel, interviewing landowners and investigating whether or not they have been in open, undisturbed and undisputed possession of their land for over 12 years.
The adjudication record, it will be published in a daily newspaper circulating not only in Jamaica but across the diaspora. So it's not only notice to community members and notice to Jamaica, but it is notice to the world that persons are claiming to be the owners of land. Now, let me start with the positive. Where there are no objections to the adjudication record, as the director, I'll be able to issue what is known as an adjudication certificate. And this adjudication certificate will be deemed to be conclusive proof of ownership. This is now the documentary proof that the person on that certificate is in fact the owner of the land. Where there are objections, however, all these objections will be referred to the adjudication committees, and adjudication committees are established in accordance with Section 9 of the Special Provisions Act to determine ownership rights in land.
Now that I've given you the basic information that you need to regularize your status as a landowner, it's now up to you to make that step. All the best.
Come down. Well, this is a real business?
I should think so. You don't see them dressed nice.
Some could be well-dressed criminals. Let me see, because you can check for a registered business on COJ website. You know that, right?
We can check online?
Yeah, man, things up now. You can check for a registered business on the Companies Office of Jamaica website. So many know things.
Yes.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
There's this long list of impactful things that the European Union is mandated to do, and an even longer list of countries that they assist in reaching their goals. It includes Jamaica. Watch now as we bring you some of the works between the Jamaican government and the European Union.
The European Union and Jamaica have been working together assiduously with one sole intent: to create a socially and economically thriving state. This rich history of cooperation is extended among the other African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group members.
The legal base of it is Cotonou Agreement.
The Cotonou Agreement was the umbrella arrangement which allowed the delivery of development assistance, the European Development Funds, which were provided by the EU to assist the development.
It actually expires in 2020, but that agreement defines what the partnership is about, both politically as well as in terms of development assistance. The priorities, despite common belief, are never identified by us alone. So we do not come in and impose any area on the government or the people of Jamaica. This is always discussed and agreed mutually, but as I said, our support is supporting the vision of the government for the people of Jamaica. So if the vision covers 5 or 6 or 10 sectors, in the course of conversation and consultations, we identify those areas that are most pertinent, and those areas where our assistance, our experience, our knowledge, our expertise can have the biggest benefits.
The European Union continues to make significant contributions to sustain and strengthen Jamaica's socio-economic development. In its efforts to improve the welfare of Jamaicans, the EU is providing support for the implementation of several programs coordinated through the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
We've had a strong partnership over the 43 years with some 1.2 billion euros being given to Jamaica in the context of our development programs. And we've seen strong collaboration in areas such as justice, in agriculture, and specifically in sugar, what we call accompanying measures to both sugar and banana.
But the other shared priorities that make this partnership very important are global issues. Today, probably the most important issue, apart from peace, is climate change.
The European Union has signed a budget support for the power sector in Jamaica.
A total of $14 million has been allocated to the sector and will see to the implementation of our climate resilient national plan. This national plan will enable approximately 40 livelihood projects in communities across Jamaica. It will also support the reforestation of degraded hillsides, other forested areas, and will address the issue of our receding coastline and depleting mangrove forests.
We're also going to be looking at the cockpit country, identifying the new boundary, and that is going to be a part of our European Union budget support program.
They are really a partner that's interested in being aligned with our needs as a nation and within the region. So Jamaica benefits from not only the National Indicative Program.
In 2016, the European Union granted $3.3 billion to the Ministry of Justice. This allocation fueled the government's justice reform program.
What we are witnessing today is the handing over of high-tech video link and digital audio recording system. Indeed, today can best be described as a shining moment for the court system in Jamaica, as another giant step has been taken by the Justice Ministry in collaboration with the European Union to upgrade and improve the technological infrastructure of courts island-wide. The modernization of the court's infrastructure is a critical plank of the government's thrust to provide a new, welcoming and refreshing environment for our judges as well as our people who interface with the justice system.
The EU's commitment extends to the health sector through investments under the Poverty Reduction Program. This is an initiative designed to provide quality access to basic infrastructure and services, including sanitation, water and health in underserved communities. The EU also supports the program for the reduction of maternal and child mortality in alignment with the Millennium Development Goals 4 and 5.
And so with that support, we have signed a financing agreement with the EU to the tune of 22 million euros to support Jamaica's achievement of Millennium Development Goals at the time 4 and 5, which spoke to the improvement of maternal health and reducing child mortality. It is a comprehensive program that is not just looking at infrastructure development, but looks at the human resources aspect in terms of building the overall health system. And we are looking to establish 9 high dependency units across 5 facilities in the country.
Spanish Town Hospital is one of the hospitals that have been chosen to benefit from this great project. So 3 key areas would be equipment, infrastructure, and health training of our staff here to support the care of our newborn babies.
I think the ability to care for someone, to create a positive outcome, is something that all healthcare practitioners want and look for. Therefore, if we have all the resources we need to deliver best quality care, I think many of us will be extremely happy.
It can be housing, it can be roads, it can be infrastructure, it could be training and jobs, but always at the end of all our collaboration is our people.
The EU really came on to JSIF to really balance our portfolio between loans and grants. And so our first program, which would have been aptly named the Poverty Reduction Program, and that took us into the deep crannies of the rural areas. And subsequently, the success of that program has led to follow-on grants. And we are focused more now with the program in what we know as the Community Renewal Program.
I'm a recipient of the JSAFE Poverty Reduction Program Scholarship, which paid 90% of my tuition for my first and second year of my time here at the Montego University College. The PRP scholarship didn't only give us or help us financially, but personally, because every 3 months we have a personal development session.
One of the imbalances in Jamaica used to be around, high fiscal deficits and high levels of indebtedness. And I think a lot of the improvements, the reforms and the progress we've seen in public financial management, what we call PFM, the EU has played a tremendous role. They were the first to really engage in terms of from a budget support modality and really engaging us in Jamaica in that manner. And we've seen even greater improvements by Jamaica in the area of public financial management, trying to put in place institutions and regulations, legislation to entrench what we call fiscal discipline. The system works, and we are seeing that emerging in Jamaica. Robust systems of public financial management, robust systems of overall macroeconomic management and I think that augurs very well for the country.
So the biggest success is in those projects where we can see how our assistance has helped Jamaican people, how we manage to support the government and deliver something that improves the quality of life of the people in Jamaica.
Really, can there be any true development of a country without including all individuals in the process? And we're speaking about the disabled among them. Here's how one body of government is empowering persons with disabilities.
I love to explore, and I love to pull and fix. I'm curious about life and what it's worth.
I'm a part of the Special Olympics team for Westmoreland.
I'm also a Special Olympian. I'm proud to be one.
I have a lot of medals, but the bad thing about it is not a lot of gold, but it's medals.
As the first race I ran, I came dead last.
A guy run left me. And this year, I went back to Kingston and I make up my mind and say, you know what?
I don't make no Kenyan person run with me again.
Because guess what? I want it 1 out of 1. I don't want to be 2-0.
So I take it and for the whole week, I train until that the race come. I'm winning it by far.
And accomplish, will achieve.
The experience was nice. I learned some new things. And every time I can take shortcuts in our work.
Thank you for the National Youth Service. I think God put it on this earth, really, for people with disability. It is a great program, a wonderful program. It helped me to realize a lot of things in this world, so I can think about other things and go at them. Not just sit at home and playing games, watching TV, because I know that won't help me.
We have been privileged to go through this experience with all of these young persons. It has been both a learning experience for us, the staff at the NYS, as well as the young persons. We saw the young persons developing their own personal and professional skills. If you or someone you know has an intellectual disability, you can refer them to the National Youth Service, where our program fully caters to their personal and professional needs, where we will be sure to assist them in transitioning into the world of work.
The National Youth Service, empowering Jamaica's young people.
In today's Here It Is, we're dissecting some areas of our economy and looking at how our government is working to develop these areas and make them better for Jamaicans. In transportation, works continue along Constant Spring, Hagley Park, Barbican, Camp and Port Henderson Road with significant improvements. Also, 12 new points across Kingston and St. Catherine are now being controlled by traffic signals. For housing, ground was broken recently on Phase 4 of the Twickenham Glades housing development in St. Catherine. 110 two-bedroom single duplex units will be built at a cost of $1.4 billion. And in education, the ministry reported a 1.5% increase in overall passes for the 2019 Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, also known as CAPE, and the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC exams when compared to last year. So, you see, good things are happening in our little island, so let's all build on these things and simply help to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and, you guessed it, do business.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, are we ready for the apps? Drive up on your block, step out now we black, cyber take a boy your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have you under lock. Sin you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for. From you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get wet, look out for. Look out for, look out for.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA, MOCA.
By virtue of staying with the JIS family today, you would have learned something about what your government is doing to prepare for a better tomorrow. But if you need a reminder, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube channel. You can also keep up with the JIS team on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.